Hello everyone, I'm John and this is Elite Gamers United. I want to say, and this is Rocky, Chewy's sitting on the bed, I want to say I know it's been a little more than 2 months and I've been MIA. Many of you probably thought I was in jail. I assure you I wasn't. No, I'm serious, I wasn't. Just to be real though, I was very depressed because, this COVID thing, my job still hasn't opened back up yet. Instead of doing videos on games, all I've been doing is just playing them. Problems in my life, relationship. If anybody doesn't have a girlfriend, I assure you, you are missing nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, let's just jump right in. I want to start with shout-outs. I thank all my subscribers who hung in there and didn't unsubscribe, and the new subscribers I got: Paul Griffith, Gaming Crazy, The Ultimate G, Zurimo, Over Reddit, A.E. Brennan, Pigman, Jimmy Spice, I still can't read this, Crimmy 908, Nate Elliott, Yamato, and Game System Addict, and I know there's others. There's one dude, I forgot your channel name, but I did subscribe. You just started checking out my Saturn videos. Thank you all. I promise I'm going to be doing videos on a regular again. I'm going to start covering some more known titles. Like a lot of Saturn games most people are not going to get the money for and don't believe in spending that kind of money on them. And it's understandable. No matter how much you love games, some people don't see paying hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to play a game. And I can't argue with that. It's not for everybody to go that crazy just to play a game. Anyway, let's jump right in. Today we asked the question, and yes, I know the title card had a typo. I wrote PlayStation. I didn't save the file in Photoshop, so I didn't feel like going back and recreating it or editing it to put to fix the typo, but whatever. Sorry, never happens, won't happen again. I promise. Today, I asked the question regarding Dino Crisis 2 on the PS1, which was released in the year 2000. Is this Capcom's finest PS1 game? Now, let me first get the gameplay up. Okay, let me rephrase the question, because Capcom made many great games for the PlayStation and the 32-bit era as it was. I want to say, is this Capcom's finest action, survival, adventure game? Because you can't put a Resident Evil or Dino Crisis or any of their games that are not fighting games compared to the fighting games. You just can't. So, with that being said, let's talk about the story. Dino Crisis 2 has time travel, dinosaurs, guns, and thousands of shotgun rounds. It's typical, off-the-wall, batshit crazy Capcom storytelling, which there's nothing wrong with. Again, if you like the first Dino Crisis, I think you'll find this game is the more enjoyable of the two. Let's, what more is there to say? It's not a great story. It's not a bad story. It's typical Capcom fare. So, let us start. Yes, my Rocky boy. Let us start talking about the visuals. As you can see, this game still has pre-rendered backgrounds, but, that's a big but. I think Capcom nailed the visual fidelity of these backgrounds. They got the resolution maxed out, or at least to me it looks like it's running very high-res pre-rendered backgrounds. They are gorgeous. You can see what's going on. You can differentiate what's what. The character models are absolutely stunning in this game. Regina and Dylan, the dinosaurs, the human enemies, the secondary and tertiary characters are well modeled, well textured, well animated. They run super smooth. It's a crisp, very crisp looking game. And I'll even say, if man lived with dinosaurs and was able to see them in their environment, I think they would probably have animated, would have moved and probably jumped and ran much like they do in this game. watching gameplay up on my little screen here, it doesn't do justice. You actually have to see this game for itself. I will say, and I'm sure I'm probably gonna have some contestment on this, I think this is Capcom's finest looking PS1 game that is not a fighting game of any sort. That's just how I feel on it. It looks great. It looks better than Resident Evil 3 and 2. It looks better than Dino Crisis 1 did. I think this was the highlight of the Capcom survival action horror action survival horror action games. I truly believe so. Sound-wise, the game's voice acting is not bad at all. I think Dylan and Regina do a decent job of the voice actor and actress do a decent job of conveying believability in their characters. Some of the secondary and tertiary characters, their voices, they're not bad, but the highlight for the voicing is the two main characters. I think they did a good job. I don't think it sounds super hammy. It still has that B-movie cheese that we love, but I think it's a far come around from the first Resident Evil. The music in Dino Crisis 2, when it's not a high-intensity, octane action piece, you're going to mainly be listening to ambience and hearing the sound effects and the roars and growls of the enemy dinosaurs. I don't think the game sounds bad at all. I think the sound effects are wonderful. I think the gunfire sounds pretty good. Some guns sound better than others. I think the shotgun, which is probably going to be your bread and butter weapon, the shotgun in this game is basically your pistol. Because you're fighting dinosaurs. Having a pistol ain't going to do dick. Alright? Without spoiling any of the weapons you're going to get, the flamethrower sounds and looks fantastic. The flames. I think that they did a good job on the sound direction. It sounds pretty damn good. If you're playing with surround sound, you can hear the enemies off screen. And I'll get to that in a minute, why the sound is important in this game. I'll get to that in the gameplay section. Speaking of gameplay, let's talk about the controls and the gameplay. The controls are actually pretty goddamn good. The tank controls are dead. There's no more tank controls. Using a PS4 controller as an example, your left stick will control you in full 3D movement. You'll always be running. You can set it to run automatically or just walk. You have a turnaround, a 180 turn. You have your interact. You have aim and shoot. Now, most games, modern games, because all of these modern games offer auto aim and shit like that, I hate anything that assists you, that moves your cursor, that automatically aims, any of that. I hate it. I believe in true instinct and skill at manipulating a controller to conveying your on-screen actions. This is one game I will give the auto aim the benefit of the doubt, because the enemies do not stop coming. No matter where you are, except a few relatively safe areas, there will always be velociraptors coming at you. There will always be enemies all over the place. When you hear them, you can aim, even if they're off screen, and you can start shooting. I'll give it to, otherwise there would be too many cheap hits, cheap deaths, and it just wouldn't be a fun game if that were the case. The main gameplay is, revolves around finding items, key cards, making progress, forwarding the story, of course. The combat is a point-based system. It gives it an arcadey feel, and that's a good thing. I'm actually happy it gives it an arcade feel. And here's why. The points that you earn from killing dinosaurs, chaining the kills with a certain amount of time, not letting too much time pass between kills, raises your combo. The higher the combo, when you move to the next area, all those points you gathered are accumulated and added to your inventory, which you use to buy new weapons, to buy items, to upgrade your weapons, to upgrade your ammo count, to get different types of ammo, to get different types of weapons. It is a very clever system that makes initiating combat a lot of fun, and you also use those points to refill your ammunition, which you will be going through hundreds, if not thousands, of rounds of ammo in this game. With the shotgun, you start with 300 rounds. Sorry about that. I'm using a different phone. My phone's having some technical difficulties, so the 10-minute video timing just elapsed. Back to what I was saying. You will be going through a ton of rounds of ammunition in this game, so the combat keeps... It's a circle. It's a giant circle. Kill enemies. Enemies give points. Points go to character. Character refills ammo. Character buys items. Buys healing items. Buys more rounds. Upgrades the capacity of rounds. Upgrades the ammunition. It's a beautiful cycle, and it works very well. Now, comparatively, whereas the first Dino Crisis was pure... If it didn't have dinosaurs and it was zombies, it would have been a Resident Evil, another entry in the Resident Evil series. This game strays away from the survival horror aspect and goes more towards the action end. And you know what? I think it benefits the game perfectly. I felt the first Dino Crisis moved way too slow for its own good pacing-wise, and that its dinosaurs are meant for action. Yes, they do stalk. Yes, there is a stealth element to the first game that, you know, trying to be quiet, get past the enemies, saving ammunition. This game takes what the first game did and jacks it up to 20. I felt Dino Crisis 2 is the superior game over the first one. The third game, we'll talk about another day. But I believe Dino Crisis 2, even the first one, are great candidates because we have the HD remaster revolution going on right now. Capcom, if you're listening, put 1 and 2 on an HD remaster compilation and let the gamers today enjoy the game. What? Take 3. Got a new dog. You got Chewy here. Say hi to everybody, Chewy. Say hi. Anyway, with this HD remaster revolution going on, there's no reason why Dino Crisis 1 and 2 should not be given a nice fresh coat of paint, some remixed audio, and released for the masses to enjoy. As I was saying though, Dino Crisis 2, it's a cheap game. You can find it for anywhere from $15 to maybe $25, $30 at most, $30 at most. Definitely worth checking out if you love Capcom's survival, action, and horror games of the mid-late 90s, early 2000s. I believe that Dino Crisis 2 was the perfect entry in the Dino Crisis trilogy. I think it one-ups the first game in every way. I think it's worth playing for any PlayStation fan, for any Capcom fan. I want to answer the question, though, that I asked. Is this Capcom's best PS1 game? Non-fighting game, let's clarify. And you know what? I think this game tops all the Resident Evils in the gameplay element. I think it's the best looking Capcom game from its generation. And I think it's Capcom's strongest effort in the survival action genre for its time. And you know what? Visually, I think it is probably the best looking PS1 game. I know that's going to cause some heavy debate, but look real close at the visuals on this game and you will see it is a true PS1 power pusher. I don't think there's any other game that can push the PS1's visuals quite like this one did. Forget the pre-rendered backgrounds. Look at the character models, look at the animation, look at the special effects, look at the lighting, for certain things I should say in that regard. And the CG cutscenes, very well done. Very well done. Very well done. Other than that, I really, again, I just wanted to apologize to everybody who's hung in there. And for people that maybe just discovered my channel, I will be doing content on a regular again. Next game I'm going to do is going to be one more somewhat obscure title. Before I start hitting some more mainstream games. I don't want to give people false hope and talk about too many games that they'll probably never play. I still will be doing games like that, but I'm going to do more accessible games for a little while, just to change it up. Other than that, thank you all. I'm John. This channel is Elite Gamers United. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on Dino Crisis 2, and I hope you guys are happy seeing the boys again. Say bye, Chewy. Alright, everybody, you all have a wonderful night, and I will see you later in the week.